What is up, guys? Welcome back. Today we're going to be giving you our review of our 4-night cruise aboard the Disney Dream.
Yay!
Yes, we are very excited about this one. We had so much fun on this cruise, and we're excited to talk about some of our favorite things.
Yes, and while we talk about it, we will pretend we are still in it.
This was the 4-night cruise on the Disney Dream. So our itinerary was Port Canaveral for embarkation, Nassau on the second day, Castaway on the third day, and then our day at sea is the fourth day. And then our last day was, sadly, disembarkation. We are Florida residents, as we just mentioned. We drove to Port Canaveral. Yep. We had actually gotten to the port area about 9 o'clock. The port doesn't open until 10. You can't even park or anything. So we took about a 5-minute drive down into the Cocoa Beach area. We'd actually stopped at a Starbucks there and hung out for a little while till it was closer to 10. And then we drove back up to the port and we went ahead and parked. There was a line, I don't know, maybe 30 people or so.
Maybe 30, yeah. To get into the, security area from the parking garage.
And after that, security was super easy and check-in was super easy as well. We walked right up. As we said, there wasn't a lot of people in there. Went right over to the upgrade desk after that. And then we were boarding group number 2. They called 1 and 2 at the same time. So we were like, I don't know, maybe the 10th or 11th person on the ship, give or take.
Yeah, it all worked out really well as far as check-in. We were there so early, for one, because we were trying to beat traffic through Orlando, because it was a Monday morning, there was going to be traffic. And then 2, we were planning on seeing about upgrades, and we didn't know what that situation would be like. I will say I don't think we would have had a problem getting an upgrade later in the day, but we would have had to wait in a long line later in the day. We were the second person to get to that desk to ask about it, and while we were waiting for boarding, we just saw the line stacking up. So I was so happy that we got to go, sit down, relax, and not have to stand in line while we were waiting for boarding to start.
But overall, the whole embarkation process was pretty easy and pretty convenient. I really like the Disney Cruise Line Port Canaveral.
It's, I think, the most beautiful port I've ever been to. Yeah,
it definitely beats warehouse ports that you end up in a lot of times for different locations.
Yeah.
For this cruise, we ended up staying in a standard balcony room. It was room 10052.
Sounds right.
Yep, and we had actually upgraded to this room. We were originally booked on an inside stateroom. As we said, our room was a standard balcony, room 10052 if you're interested. This was a great room. I really liked it. We were one deck below, the main deck where you go where Cabanas is and the pools and all of that are.
Yep, and the coffee shop. So it was really good location. Comparatively on Disney, we've only ever stayed in an inside room, so it was definitely nice to experience. I did like having the balcony view, and it was really nice to be able to, see the outside, especially when we were at Nassau and when we were at Castaway. So that was really, really nice. We, sat out there, drank coffee and had some breakfast, all those things. And it was really lovely. The room itself, fairly standard. I actually kind of prefer the layout of the inside stateroom with the bed against the wall when you walk in, but that is you can't do that when you have a balcony because you have to be able to get to the balcony. But it was nice to have the couch, so you could see out the window and everything. We had, the standard mini fridge, plenty of storage, I think. I don't think we wanted for storage at all.
Yeah, you get 2 big closets plus an assortment of different drawers and overhead.
It had the split bathroom, which was really nice, and we hadn't had that before. So it was nice to be able to have 2 single beds. Were very comfortable.
Yes. The bed was great. Now we never had to utilize the upper bed or the couch,
Right.
but it was just us two.
Yes, but I'm sure that they're, standard. Our room steward was great. I don't think we had any problems.
No, not at all. Yeah, I thought he was fine. We always got all of our services. I really enjoyed the room. Thought it was a nice room. Decent size for sure.
Yeah, that room is very near kind of the entrance and exit of the hallway, which I kind of like.
I like
you
it.
get to your room faster. That does mean you have more traffic. We didn't have a problem with it, noise-wise, I don't think.
No, not at all.
Yeah, and we're fairly early to bed people. We try not to be, but we always end up being early to bed people, so.
So we're gonna talk about the itinerary a little bit. We already covered embarkation, pretty standard Port Canaveral. Our first day was on Nassau. What we did that day was stay on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we really did anything too special. We did some of the activities aboard the ship.
Yeah, so that morning, it was the only morning we ended up doing this, but we went to the gym, got a really good long workout in there, enjoyed it. After the gym, we went and we used the walking track around. That day we did the shipboard detective agency.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. We had done a fairly easy one for sure. We had done the puppies. And you can see more about that in our vlogs.
Yes,
but it's definitely a fun activity to kind of occupy some time.
It's a good embarkation day activity too. That's when I did it with my sister. We did it on embarkation day, and it was a good way to get to know the ship and kill some time while having fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So also that evening we did the mixology tasting, which was pretty cool. It's definitely the most hands-on tasting that we've done.
Yeah, it was really fun. So they held this one up in Meridian, which is the bar that's between Palo and Remy. The guy who led it was great. He was super funny.
Yep.
You get a really nice wide assortment of drinks and different types and different alcohols and different things. So you really get a nice diverse try of things. There were things that I absolutely loved and things that I did not like at all. But it was really fun. I would do that one again.
Yeah, it was definitely a good assortment of drinks between things that are sweeter, bubblier, to maybe a little more sour, a little more savory. So it was very cool, and they did a great job explaining, where things came from, why they would add this or that to the various recipes. And they would give you a recipe sometimes, you would try it, and then they would add something a little bit different that would like change the profile of it.
Yeah, and it definitely kind of gave us inspiration to take that home and try different cocktails and stuff ourselves at home.
That's about all we did the Nassau day. It was a pretty relaxing day overall. Like we said, we didn't get off the ship. I don't think really had a need to do anything on Nassau. We didn't have any excursions booked.
Yeah. So
day 2 was our castaway day. I think the day we were both most excited for. This was my first time to castaway and her second. We had gotten off the ship and we did the 5K.
Yep.
Very fun, very chill, low-key 5K. It's not timed or anything.
Yeah, and it's very diverse. There's people who go and, walk the entire thing. There's people who go and literally stroll the entire thing. Yep. And then there's people who run it really quick or run it twice.
Yes.
Like you did. But if you're training for something, this kind of goes to our running community. If you're training for something and you need to do a 10K, might as well. They're not gonna say no. Just run it twice and you get your training run in. That was super fun. It wasn't too hot. It was pretty good weather, being that we were in the Bahamas.
Yeah, no, I thought it was nice.
We did that, and then we actually went back on the ship to kind of clean up and grab our beach stuff because it was still pretty early.
Yeah.
And we didn't have, anything booked on the island or anything in particular that we needed to get back to.
So then we spent the majority of our day over at Serenity Bay. We had gotten some drinks over at the bar over there. They were fine, I thought.
It was my least favorite drink I had, but that's probably just me ordering poorly. I think they're bartenders and everything are great.
But yeah, there were plenty of seats available along the beach. I think we walked maybe halfway down to the one side, and we pretty much just hung out there, read, relaxed, sat in the sun.
And then we also had lunch at the Serenity Bay barbecue, which was great. I definitely preferred it to the main Cookies barbecue that I ate at last time I was on Castaway. And I will say too, I noticed how great the food service staff is. I just have this memory. There were a lot of people who were asking for certain things that weren't like available out front, and they were like running to go get it for them. I just remember they didn't have regular mustard and everyone wanted regular mustard, and they were just running back and forth to help them out. So big props to the food service crew. They did a great job.
Yeah, I have never eaten at either of the Cookies, but I thought this was an awesome meal. Pretty good selection overall. And as she said, the food was literally like taken off the grill and put right on your plate.
Fresh.
It was
really
very good. I really enjoyed it.
Yes, I'm excited to go back and eat there again, I will say. Oh, and then after we were done in that area, we went and we rented bikes.
Yeah, which was pretty cool. So part of the 5K runs the bike path. So we had seen that, but then there's an additional path that takes you out to like a little viewing point beyond Serenity Bay. So we rode out there, got to see that. That was very pretty, kind of a cool secluded area. And then we went and we did the loop that we had ran around. We went and we did the observation tower, which is pretty cool. You can see the ship. You can see kind of how big the island is compared to what they have developed.
Well, and it's so funny because it doesn't feel like that point when you're traveling out there. It doesn't feel like you're very far from the ship, but you actually like are on the other side of the island because you see the ship when you go up in the observation deck and see how far it is. They also have little hidden things around that area that you can kind of find, which is, I'm sure, have been there for forever, but I did not see them last time I went up on that observation deck, so it was interesting to realize that those were there.
After that, we kind of just headed back on the ship a little earlier than we could have, but that was fine. We beat, the rest of the crowd getting on the ship.
Yeah, and we had done everything we wanted to do. You had talked about renting snorkel gear, but I think we were just kind of like tired at that point.
Yeah.
We'll leave things for next time. We know we're always going to go back, so we'll leave things to do next time we go out there.
Overall, Castaway Cay was really awesome. The island experience that you want to have without any of the like crazy selling you like weird island experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely a place I'm looking forward to going back to.
For sure.
So our next day was our day at sea. We had something kind of special booked this day. We did the romantic couples hideaway as the spa package. This was pretty cool. You are basically on this like balcony suite and you get to sit out there and relax. They have a jacuzzi for you to sit in. They do like a foot scrub for you, and then they leave you some time to relax out there with each other. And then afterwards you're brought inside and you can choose from a variety of different packages. We both did Swedish massages.
Yep.
So you do like a couple's massage, and then after that they leave you some more time out in the balcony and they do a little tea ceremony for you. They bring you some different fruits, some chocolate covered strawberries and whatnot. Yes. Very cool, very fun package. Definitely a special occasion type of thing for us. It was our anniversary.
Yes, so yeah, it was our anniversary cruise, and this was our anniversary / Christmas present to each other. It's super expensive, but honestly it would be something I would do again for a special occasion. I thought it was really lovely. Great way to kind of slow down, relax.
So the other thing we did this day was we did Palo brunch, and we will get back to that when we talk about dining. And our last day was sadly disembarkation. I thought disembarkation was fine. There was a pretty long line going through customs.
Oh yeah.
We waited, I don't know, probably
that was the
30
longest
minutes.
I've ever waited, but we also waited pretty long to get off the ship.
Yeah, well, we were late dining, so we were late breakfast.
Yes.
If you are looking to get to the airport or have to be somewhere or want to move on with your day, doing express walk-off is definitely the easiest and most convenient way, because usually there's not a huge line for that, and it's the fastest way to get back to your car or transportation.
But other than that, I think it was pretty smooth sailing.
Now we're going to talk a little bit about entertainment. Of course, this was only a 4-day cruise, so we could only fit so much in. As for shows, we only got to see Beauty and the Beast. which I thought was really awesome. We almost didn't go and see it, and then there was like literally nothing else we were that interested in doing. And we went and saw it, and I was pretty blown away by the production quality of it. I thought it was really awesome.
Production-wise, great. I agree with that 100%.
We also got to see Onward as the kind of featured show that they had on board. That was in the same Walt Disney Theater, in the big theater. I really enjoyed that too. I always love when you get to see like first run movies on the ship.
Yeah, it's super fun. It was a great movie. I really didn't have too much trouble with kids or noise or anything during it. Yeah, we got great seats for it. I always recommend like checking out a movie while you're on the Disney ships because it's kind of just a cool experience.
Yeah, absolutely. As for music, we had seen The Violinist in the atrium. But I don't think we got to do much else.
I don't think we listened to much more live music, which that was probably like the disappointing thing for me. I generally really like hearing like the live musicians on every cruise ship I've ever been on. They have wonderful live musicians. The violinist that's on the Dream, I know her first name's Anna, is great. She was there last time I was there, and she is so talented. Oh, we listened to the sisters a little bit as well.
We did also get to some trivia. We had one of the like general Disney trivias, which is fun.
Yep, so we did that. We also heard the 80s and 90s music trivia, but we didn't participate in those trivias. They were really fun to listen to.
Yeah. I would not have done well at either.
I wouldn't either. I'm not good at music trivia. I love music, but I don't know any names.
So now we're going to talk about dining. So our first place on our dining rotation was Royal Palace. I think we both really liked the location. This is the like French-inspired menu that's on the board, similar to Triton's on the Wonder.
This is one of my favorites. I think it's so beautiful, and it's like the atrium restaurant, so you know the atrium leads into it. So I feel like it's a little fancier than the others.
Yeah, it's a little more elegantly themed for sure. I had the Jumbo shrimp and lobster, which is like a chilled shrimp and lobster combo, and then the lobster pasta as my main dish, as well as the creme brulee for my dinner.
And then I had the fried brie appetizer and the farmhouse salad. And then for my entree, I had the vegetarian mushroom stuffed pasta. And for dessert, I had the Grand Marnier souffle, which is kind of famous and delicious.
Yeah. Overall, I thought that was a pretty solid dinner.
Yeah, pretty solid. I remember not being just very hungry this night overall, but the food itself tasted good. Our
next night was Animator's Palette. I had the truffle persets, the baked potato soup, and then we had both gotten the lemon thyme chicken.
Yes, and I remember I did not enjoy the chicken very much.
Yeah, I think consensus was chicken was a little dry. Yeah. I remember really liking the persets though.
Yes, the persets were delicious, and I remember the chicken came with mashed potatoes, and the mashed potatoes were delicious.
Very good.
Did we get dessert that night?
We did. I had gotten the cookies and cream sundae.
Oh yeah, and I got the crunchy walnut cake, but I remember I really, really liked it.
Overall, okay, I think.
Yes. It's not my favorite menu.
So our next night was also our Castaway Day, and this was also Pirate Night, so it was the pirate menu. This menu is pretty much the same, like, between all ships.
Wide.
Yeah.
And it had it in Animator's Palette.
This was pretty much an okay meal. I had gotten the shrimp appetizer, the jerk chicken as my main meal, and then I had gotten cobbler and the cheesecake for dessert. It was just an okay meal, I think.
So I remember some of what I had. I know I got the crab cakes and enjoyed them. I'm sure. Oh, I got the seafood pasta. I think they call it the treasure pasta, something like that. And it was okay. You know, I like seafood. I think I probably picked out, you know, the bits of lobster and shrimp. Decent. You know, it's not my favorite menu, so.
In the future might be a good night to try a Palo or Remy dinner.
Yes, I think we're about at the point where we are ready to skip a main dining room dinner and try one of the specialty I don't even think I got dessert that night because I don't think there's anything on that dessert menu I like.
And then the last night was Enchanted Garden. For the other night, we had a whole group of table mates, and this night they all had specialty dining and we were the only ones, so we ordered a lot of the menu and just kind of like shared it between each other.
Yeah, because we knew we would have room on the table without crowding other people because we were still at a table for 6. Actually, I think it was a table for 8.
Yeah. Appetizer wise, we had gotten the cucumber roll and the bacon mushroom tart and the lobster ravioli. And then for main courses, we had the sea bass, the roasted chicken, the scallops, and the prime rib.
Mm-hmm.
I believe out of all of that, the roasted chicken was definitely like the standout meal. I think the best chicken meal that we had on the whole ship. Really, really good. Would recommend. The prime rib was also really good. It was very well cooked. They had gotten it like perfect.
Yep. And then the scallops and the sea bass weren't stellar. The sea bass, I remember feeling very oily. It wasn't fried, but it had I felt like a lot of oil with it. But it came on top of, I believe, some kind of risotto, and the risotto was really delicious. I could be mixing that up with this, like what the scallops was on top of. The scallops, not good. I remember, because I really like scallops, I ordered them almost every opportunity I had. These were the worst by far.
They were kind of just bland.
They kind of tasted a little gritty, which usually with scallops means there's like sand, so don't recommend those. And then I don't think we got dessert, or it wasn't standout.
We were too full for dessert.
Well, yes, we ordered 4 meals, so.
Yeah. Then our other dining that we did was Palo Brunch. Definitely a great meal. Very comparable experience to when we had it on the Wonder for sure. Yeah. I don't quite remember what all I got from like the buffet style area.
You got a little bit of everything, it feels like.
Yeah, and then I had gotten the chicken parmesan and, what was the other?
It was scallops, I believe, that I got. And I remember we both loved the scallops. It was on top of a risotto, and both of them were really good. I remember both of us were like fighting over the risotto.
Yeah, whole meal was very solid.
Yes, and then the chicken parm at Palo is delicious.
So good.
Now that we've been to both, I don't know which one I like more, Palo Wonder or Palo Green.
I would pick Palo Wonder. I like the open kitchen. So most of our breakfasts, we actually did the in-room option where you leave a little tag outside your door at night, and you just have like basic continental options, croissants, bagels, cereal,
yogurt.
Yep, that kind of thing. We did that most mornings. Yep, coffee.
Yeah. One morning, though, we did go to Cabanas for breakfast.
Yeah, and it was fine. Kind of standard Cabanas fare. Nothing like super outstanding.
Yeah, I'm never blown away by Cabanas.
Well, definitely a good place to go if you want like a diverse group of options, though.
Yes. Great for families because you have so many options. And then we did utilize the, walk-up quick serve windows several times for snacks if we just, needed to get a couple chicken tenders or a slice of pizza. Never had anything really bad from those, so they're a good option. And then the last place we should mention, it's wonderful, is Cove Cafe.
Yeah, so we spent quite a bit of time at Cove Cafe. We both enjoy a good coffee, and it's a great place to just kind of sit down and relax. Usually relatively quiet in there. So
we'll either we probably got coffee maybe like twice a day or so, some days, but we would grab a coffee and we would sit outside and watch the ocean go by. We would sit inside and eavesdrop on usually cast members talking around us, which is always fun. Like the performers and stuff will go in there. It's literally empty during the first seating of dinner, and so we would go there, doing that. We planned our next cruises while sitting there and drinking coffee. It's a great place, and they do have like complimentary snacks and stuff in there as well. So it is, a good place for adults only to go get a snack. Yeah, we enjoyed it quite a bit and utilized it a lot. Definitely one of our favorite places between like all the ships to go and hang out. So the last thing we're going to talk about is the adult areas, mostly the lounges.
which we, I believe, got to hit almost all of them in some sort of way. We had a tasting in Pink. Pink is like the champagne and wine bar. They also do a lot of like piano music in there. Again, we didn't get to do any of that, but we would definitely go back to do that.
Yes, it's a really, really fun atmosphere, and it actually was a really good location for the tasting. It was very intimate.
Yes.
And just the kind of that ambiance, you know, with all that pink stuff was really fun.
Yep. And then there was Skyline, which is probably my favorite of the adult lounges. Pretty small bar, but very cool. It's got a wall with different, essentially, city skylines, and it changes out like really every 15 or 20 minutes. Very cool.
So like the art changes, the music changes, is really cool. And I will say they have very, very friendly cast members at that bar.
Then we had Pub 687. This was where the music trivias were being hosted, but we would go in there and usually grab a beer and sit down, and they had chess tables or checker tables, and we would sit there and we would usually play a round of chess.
This is really fun. They do trivia like during the day there as well. I think they do some of the drawing classes in there sometimes. It's fun. It's like the sports bar. So if there's like a game you're looking to catch, that's where you would go.
Next is Evolution. This was commonly used for a meeting place for various things. We went there to sign up for the Castaway 5K, but we also got to see some of the different like adult entertainment. This is where they do Match Your Mate and those type of games.
Yeah, so it's the adult like entertainment bar. So it's the biggest of all of the adult areas. The way they use the effects and the lighting along with the Evolution butterfly theme is really cool if you're in there for a longer period of time or for an activity where they really play with it. I really enjoyed that aspect of it.
And then the last one I wanted to hit on was the like Quiet Cove and Satellite Falls area. Basically the whole forward part of the ship is like adult area from deck 11 right outside Cove Cafe up to deck, I think it's 13. That whole like front part of the ship is all adult areas. They have like a little pool that's got like this like waterfall feature. That's the Satellite Falls part. And we went up there quite a bit to just kind of lay out and relax.
Yeah, we read our books up there. We didn't ever order anything from their bar areas, but they had them. And I do know that they would do happy hours up there at night when I'm sure it was like not busy at all. So I heard other folks on the ship talking about like being up there during that time. So maybe, you know, one of these trips we'll make a point to go up there for one of those happy hours.
Do you have any other like points or pros or cons from the cruise?
I will say I really enjoyed hanging out in Skyliner. That's like a very memorable, special part of the trip. That's also where we probably both tried, you know, some new / kind of daring to us new drinks and discovered things that we liked.
Yep.
And had really good conversation with the cast members. Again, they made such a huge difference, like just being friendly and talkative, and it was always empty whenever we were there, so I think they were probably just bored.
I think probably my biggest con is 4-night cruise is pretty short. Definitely left some things on the table that we would like to go back and either do again or do for the first time. Of course, eventually try Remy.
Oh, yes,
and
definitely.
Palo dinner.
Overall, I mean, like, it was a great cruise. It had its moments where it was a little weird just because of the circumstance and when we went on it, but overall, I would do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the ship. Going back to kind of the adult area, the Satellite Falls, I think the layout of the adult areas on these newer ships is way better than on the Wonder and the Magic.
Well, it's just so much bigger.
So much bigger, and on the Wonder and the Magic, the like Quiet Cove area is like in the middle of the ship. So there's still like families passing back and forth.
You have a lot of room to spread out and enjoy the quiet.
That's gonna do it, guys. If you like the video, make sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell, all of that YouTube-y stuff. If you've been on the Dream, let us know what your thoughts were. What was your favorite thing? Or if you're watching this planning your cruise, let us know what thing you're most excited for. And thanks for watching. See ya.